One guy who is enjoying a bye week, enjoying a 2-0 record, which is not a record he is unaccustomed to, is the head coach of the Refugio Bobcats. We are joined by the most understated coach in Texas high school football, this Coach Jason Herring. Hey, Coach.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
How are things down in a beautiful Refugio?
So far, so good. We're off to a good start, and kids are working hard and staying healthy, and that's the key.
I think folks know about Refugio based on your offense and based on the amount of points you guys have scored, but things are very different this year. You guys have, in many respects, abandoned the spread, and you are going to more of a power running style, which is working. Obviously 2-0 and a great win last week over Goliad. What kind of precipitated the move to this kind of style?
Well, first of all, we're actually multiple spread. I mean, we're under center probably 40% of the time, and then we're still in our gun and our shotgun the other 60%. So we're real multiple. You know, one play we might be under center, two backs, and then the very next play we might be no backs, gun. So we didn't abandon the spread 100%, but you know, we graduated our running back last year, and I was looking at our roster and decided to move Jalen, my 2-year starter at quarterback. He's the biggest, fastest, strongest kid we have, great athlete, 6'2", 225, and we decided to move him to tailback. And in doing that, we knew that we would be, it'd be well advised to maybe put a fullback in the game and run some downhill running. So that's kind of what precipitated the move. Kids have done an awesome job. Jacoby Avery, the backup quarterback from last year, has stepped in, doing a great job. And, of course, we're still throwing the ball. The first night against Hebronville, we threw for over 500 yards. Then the other night, and only rushed for 180. And then the other night, we rushed for 400 yards and threw for 100. So we still believe that you need to take what the defenses give you. We're just using a lot more play-action pass and a lot more downhill running game.
And Jalen, of course, is a name that a lot of people around the state know for the gaudy numbers he put up as your quarterback. What was that conversation like going to Jalen and saying, hey, we want to move you out from under center and we want to make you a running back?
Well, it was really easy because, number one, Jalen's a complete team player, and he's a great kid. Jalen had always been the tailback all through Pee Wee football and in junior high, and it wasn't until our quarterback in that class actually moved as an eighth grader. I saw coming into the freshman year that I had to find a quarterback to replace Quintanilla one of these days. So I actually had to move Jalen from his original position, which was tailback, to quarterback 3 years ago. But, you know, when I told him that we were going to revamp the offense and we were going to build the offense around him, he's a tremendous team player. And here's the deal about it. Jalen has 5 or 6, 7 offers from Division I schools, and all of them are at athlete anyway. So none of his scholarships were tied to quarterback, or I'm not sure if colleges just know he's a great football player, and I'm not sure if he'll end up being a running back, quarterback, tight end, outside linebacker, free safety. He's just a tremendous athlete, and all of his offers, Houston and all those guys are recruiting him as an athlete. So once I was good with that in my mind, that it wasn't going to hurt his recruiting or hurt the kid, because I wouldn't want to ever do anything to hurt a kid. Jalen was fine with it. In fact, I remember it today. I said, what would you think about playing tailback? He said, Coach, I would love that. That's my favorite. I'd love to do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. And he's never looked back. It's never been an issue. Of course, we're still getting the Wildcat and put him at quarterback, and we're still letting him throw the ball and run the ball. He's doing a little bit of everything.
And now you mentioned your new quarterback, Jacoby Avery, the guy who was the backup quarterback last year. How through 2 games, obviously still early, but so far, how have you seen him kind of adjusting to kind of the signal caller and the trigger man in this offense?
Yeah. Well, one thing Jacoby has going for him is he's always been a tremendous leader. He's been on varsity since his freshman year, playing outside linebacker, backup quarterback, running back. He started catcher for our baseball team that's gone 4 or 5 rounds both years. He's a tremendous, tremendous leader for a young kid. He's a junior now, but he's always been a great leader. So he's taken the reins and welcomed it and done an awesome job leading us. The first night when we opened up, he was 11 for 12 for 380 yards and 4 touchdowns. So I would say his debut was pretty successful. The other night, still had a good night, but it was like 12 out of 18 for 200 yards, something like that. So I would say he's taken to it. We've adapted what we're doing. We're throwing a lot more play action pass and a lot more sprint out and bootlegs and stuff to use his skills as a run threat guy. He's not quite as tall as Jalen. Jacoby's only about 5'9", so we've had to adapt a little bit, but so far it's been really pleasant.
And you've got a number of other weapons on this squad, including Demond LaFond, and then this linebacker Kobe I guess it's Herring. Is that that it?
You know better than that.
For you, you've had a lot of experiences as a head football coach. What's it like to coach your son out there?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Hoss. It's really, really, really special. There's nothing like it. You live and dream that one of these days that your kid, number one, will be interested in football, and then number two, that he'll be talented enough to help the team. So it's a real positive experience, and for a kid, I couldn't pick a better place for my son to get to experience what he's got to go to the finals twice in 3 years, and hopefully we've got a chance to go back this year, and all we need to do is get there and win it. On the flip side of that is you got to be extremely careful, because every single body is going to scrutinize every decision you make and going to assume that it's because his last name is the same as yours. So you got to make sure that he outworks everybody and he does, he follows the stricter rules than anybody. You just got to do that. But it's been real pleasant, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Coach, all due respect, I don't think anybody's looking at 215 tackles from last year and thinking, man, he's only in there because of his last name. That kid can.
You would be surprised, Toss.
We're talking with Jason Herring, the head coach of the Refugio Bobcats here on DCTF Live. Get involved with the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. And Coach, I want to go back to a more unpleasant time last year in Houston. At the NRG Stadium, that game against Canadian, and we've talked a lot about that Canadian team and being one of the more dominant teams we've seen in a long time. For you on the other side, what are going to be your kind of memories and takeaways from a game that ended up being not in your favor?
Well, first of all, the chance to get there and the opportunity to play at NRG and play in the finals, that speaks for itself. I'm not ever going to apologize for that. We were one of two teams left in the whole state of Texas, so that says a mouthful right there. No doubt the best team won that day. We played them for about a quarter and a half, really, really, really good, and then it got away from us. Quite honestly, I don't think on any given night, I don't think we could beat that football team. Maybe 1 out of 100 tries, but I doubt it. I think that best team won. Even if we play our A game, I'm not sure. I've told many people that have asked me, I'm not sure that team couldn't have played with the Navasotas and the Argyles and all of them. That was, any time you win back-to-back football championships, back-to-back basketball championships, 4 state championships in one calendar year, basically, that's a special group of kids. And you throw on top of that a great program, great coaches, great tradition. I honestly don't think anybody was going to touch them, to be honest with you. And they had large numbers, lots of kids to choose from. So no excuses here, no apologies. It didn't turn out like we wanted. I told my coaches we were kind of beating ourselves up, and I said, remember, Brent West from Cisco went to like 4 of these things before he won one. Mm-hmm. He beat us finally, I think in 13 was his first one out of 4 or 5 tries. So I told him to, once the sting got away and we got over the hurt, to look at all the positives, and we made it back to the finals for the 3rd time in 5 years, and we need to take from it all the positives and look back on it as a good time.
And of course, realignment comes out this year, and you guys are put in. I don't know who you made mad at the UIL, but
got
you
got tougher.
You guys things have found a way to get more difficult as you guys now draw Shiner in your district. Not to mention Weimar, who is off to a great start. Yorktown also very good. When you look at your district and maybe the Region 4 as a whole, what do you see?
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody can argue. It's top to bottom, any classification. I think it's the toughest district in the state. I mean, you've got preseason number 1, you've got preseason number 2, and then you've got 2 more that are at least in the top 10 or 15. So probably all 4 playoff teams will be ranked. Last year, all 4 playoff teams were still alive in the 3rd round. So I think, and it was the same district last year. Maybe one Kennedy came in, I think, from Flatonia. So when you look at the record last year and you look at the rankings and the tradition of Shiner and us and all of them, Grenada, even Weimer, I think each week you better be ready to play. And the good thing about it is I think we're going to be battle tested. We don't have to worry about running up the score and only playing our kids for one half, all that nonsense. We're going to have to play 4 quarters every week in district just to battle and just get out and win, and that's going to help us in the playoffs.
And Coach, one more thing before we let you go. A lot of people know you for the past few years where you were unapologetically aggressive. I know that Max and I both kind of look at that and smile, and I know Max is fully 100% on your side.
You don't like
on
it, stop it.
Exactly. But I want to ask you a little bit about just, you're entering your 10th year at Refugio. You've been around the block when it comes to Texas high school football coaching. Do you feel like you've mellowed at all?
Yeah, I mellowed a little bit, Guy, but that really wasn't a personality deal. That was honestly what we had been here 5 or 6 years, and we'd get right there on the doorsteps, and we couldn't win. We were still double A, the old double A, which is triple A now. Mm-hmm. And I changed offenses, I changed defenses, I changed coordinators, I changed our strength and conditioning program. We kept getting to the quarters and getting beat, or the semis and get beat. And that was when we were way, way, way better than anybody in our district. So we would look up and we would have 7 or 8 games where we were only playing 2 quarters. And I just thought, man, that's the only thing I haven't changed. That's got to be affecting us when we get to the playoffs and our kids aren't even in shape. So that really wasn't a personality deal. It was what I thought a necessity thing. And the media kind of blew it out of proportion, and it grew way bigger than I ever meant for it to be. But the new district has taken care of that. I mean, we can play as hard as we want for four quarters in this new district, and it's not ever going to get out of hand because we're in such a strong district. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about the nonsense of running up the score and all that stuff. These teams can play. If you play perfect and play your tail end off, it might be 41-14 or something like that. So I think the district took care of that, and I'm grateful.
Coach, I got to tell you, if you hang 50 points on Shiner, at that point, do whatever you want to do, man. That is that's pretty much.
I tell you what, anybody that can hang 50 points on Shiner is pretty special. I'll tell you that. They got a great outfit and a great defense.
He is Jason Herring. He's the head coach of the 2-0 #1 Refugio Bobcats. Coach, appreciate your time. Enjoy your bye week. Get some rest, and good luck when district season rolls around.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks a million for covering our program, bud.
There he goes, Jason Herring, head coach of the Refugio Bobcats, here on DCTF Live. I love him. I know there are a lot of people that he rubs the wrong way. I know.
Yeah.
I love him. But I know you love him, but you love him for a different reason.
It's a mindset I believe in. You do what you have to do. And you can't apologize for it. I just,
and he hit the nail on the head. Like, honestly, the UIL did him such a huge favor because all due respect to those teams, all due respect to Hebronville, and all due respect to Riviera Colfer and all these teams, they were so far and away better than those teams. They were so far and away the best team in that district. I'll tell you, there is a real chance if you squint. Now, I think Refugio is the best team in the state. That's my opinion in 2A Division 1. Yeah. But there is a real argument. You could say they're the 3rd best team in their own district.
Yeah, you could make it and probably make a case.
If you think Weimer or Yorktown can come up, I mean, Shiner's definitely on their level.
Right.
Definitely on their level.
And when I talked to Coach Herring this summer for the magazine, he had nothing but praise for that staff, especially the defensive approach and philosophy and how every kid buys in. So it's there's a lot of challenge in that district.
Let me see. I want to pull this up right now. I want to see when Shiner Refugio. That is, come on, internet.
Well, you and I talked about, I don't remember what the date is. You and I talked about, though, that was like, maybe that's a road trip game.
You may have to go down there.
I know.
Shiner plays Refugio week 11 at Shiner. Are you kidding me?
Oh, man.
11-4. So November 4th in Shiner, Texas. Refugio and Shiner.
Okay.
As the kids say, that's going to be lit, fam.
Yeah.